Coming up on this episode of The Village Idiom.
Which involved the pipe.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tanya Harding with the pipe. it's like playing Clue.
Tanya Harding in the rink with a lead pipe.
Dum dum da da, Village Idiom.
Hello and welcome to The Village Idiom.
We are a podcast that every week chooses a popular saying to take a shallow. They're not always that popular, I guess.
They're not always shallow.
But we take a shallow and hopefully comedic and once in a while even interesting dive into its meaning, its usage, its origins. But we're also going to hang it.
They're not even necessarily comedic.
We're going to hang our otherwise useless conversation on it, on the subject, on the topic. We're a podcast that talks about idioms. My name is Jurassic Mark.
I've never even been skinny. Really?
This episode 99.
It's all fake.
If you've listened to 98 previously, we could say whatever we want.
Yeah.
You know what we mean. If this is your first episode, we're so sorry.
We're sorry. Come back for 100, where you can hear Dang Alano carry us.
Yep. Remember the Alano. Remember the dang Alano.
I guess it's different depending on where you grew up.
I suppose.
If you're like Texan,
You
remember the Alamo.
Yeah, but not the dang Alano.
You probably have never even heard of a dang Alano.
Well, today, listen to this. Listen to this.
You are skating on very, very thin ice.
Why?
Okay?
Listen to this.
You are skating on very, very thin ice. Okay?
Skating on thin ice.
Man, skating on... now, actually, have we gone skating?
Together or ever? I don't know if...
I have a feeling that I've skated with, your daughter. Maybe that was another occasion. I'm like, why would I have skated with your daughter if you weren't there?
Potentially, when I was running kids and families programs, we did between Christmas and New Year's.
Maybe. Because I can't skate to save my life.
Yeah, no, I can skate. I can't stop.
I can't stop. Can't skate.
I can't stop this feeling either.
Yeah.
No, I can't. I have to run into the boards to stop.
Yeah.
And so, therefore,
So, like a great many things, get out there with, remember there was inside the city, there used to be inside the city.
An inner city?
Not inner city, but inside the city skating arena at Robson Square.
Oh, yeah.
That was the thing. Maybe that's where we've been.
I've never skated there.
Yeah, that wasn't you.
I have stood there when there wasn't ice.
Okay. So
yeah, I don't even know how they keep that frozen. That's exposed to... We don't get that cold here.
Magic.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Robson magic?
I have to tell you everything. But so go out. I remember going with my wife, and it's just my nature is like, okay, I think I've got it. I think I've got it forward. Okay, now I'm going to try backward.
Ooh.
Just you got to go for it.
Yeah.
But I still can't stop.
No, I don't. Why? I mean, I can come to a stop.
Eventually, yeah, gravity does that for me.
My inertia runs out. But I can't do that cool, I'm going to spray you.
No.
Yeah.
No, like a cat in heat.
Yeah, I can't spray you.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. You're quite the skier, and you've snow skated. Is it called that?
Snow skated.
Snow bladed.
Yeah, all of that, yes. But as far as the skating on thin ice, I don't know if I've ever skated on a pond. It's always been some artificial something.
So I've skated on I'd have to look it up. I remember being in Montreal in the dead of winter, and they opened up the something canal, the Rideau?
Rideau, yeah.
The Rideau Canal. It's frozen over, and you can just skate for miles. And they got little elephant ear, those beaver tail, cinnamon, pancakey, whatever you call it.
What do they call them in not places that are Canada? Because a beaver tail sounds fun.
Elephant ear isn't very Canadian.
That's true. You got me on that one. That's what they call them in the African, when it's so cold that they're skating in they're African, in a the middle of the Sahara. It's boom.
Where they're skating.
Is it an elephant ear stand?
Yeah, it was.
What do they call these in other places Canada?
This was more than 20 years ago, but skating on the Rideau. That's right? Rideau Canal?
It's the Rideau.
And it was out of a postcard. It was snowing a little bit. You're skating down this river. There's these little shacks to skate right up to and order your cinnamon toasted whatever and hot chocolate little half a mile down, and
That's like the French kids. They don't
feel like
sell
a
lemonade.
Hallmark movie.
They don't sell lemonade. They sell hot chocolate,
Hot
on,
chocolate
the, on the
stands.
Rideau.
Exactly. Yeah, so I've skated on that. I've been on frozen ponds.
That was that Henry Fonda movie.
I just had that thought and I couldn't think of what on frozen pond.
On Frozen Pond. So good.
I've been so
The
here.
ending is not quite as he falls through the ice at the end.
Pick your side of the argument. Who cares about global warming? But growing up, like, so we live in a fairly mild, neutral part of Canada. Like, if we get some snow, it's a luxury. It's actually fun.
Yeah,
because we're not buried in snow for a whole winter.
It's not cold here. Like
No,
cold.
but I remember this sort of pond, lakey area behind where I used to live out in the woods. You know, you refer to the ravine.
Yep.
It's kind of like beyond the ravine, there was another pond. And we would go out there every winter and just run across it. But there was for sure areas where the color would change. You're like, okay, don't go there. And you'd hear the cracks. And every year somebody went in.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. And so I've walked on thin ice.
I got a great sign. Wife freaking out. Okay, kids, get out there on the ice, and so that I could take a shot of them behind the sign that says "Don't stand on the thin ice."
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good parenting right there.
A for
Did
parenting.
you ever hear that story about the guy who drove his truck? I don't know where this would be. Drove his truck out on the ice to do ice fishing, but decides to break the ice with a stick of dynamite. This could be legend,
This sounds really.
but here's
Even
the
the
story.
dumbest of
Here's
the
how
dumb.
the story goes. Guy has a brand new truck, drives out onto this lake. Him, his girlfriend, and his dog.
I'll add theme music.
He has a stick of dynamite, lights it, and just throws it as far as he can into the lake to create a hole. But the dog just sees him throw a stick.
Oh, that's not where I
And
thought
the
this was
dog
going.
takes off. And he's like, no. Dog grabs a stick of dynamite, comes back. But because he's yelling at his dog so much, the dog gets scared and hides under his truck. So him and his woman are just hoofing it to get away from the truck. With the stick of dynamite goes up, and there goes the truck. There goes the dog.
That's like 2/3 of a country song right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I feel like it's a true story because that's where I've filed it in my brain filing cabinet.
Yeah, I wouldn't Snopes it, but
But yeah, that's not skating or walking on thin ice. That's just redneck dog and dynamite. So there was
Alberta is what you're saying.
I don't know. Like, it get cold enough to do ice fishing and drive your truck out on something in Alberta?
I think so.
Yeah.
For like 10 months
I was
of the
thinking
year.
Alaska.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Whatever.
We're pretty mild temperature
So as
here.
far as like the skating on thin ice, I was thinking of crazy out of moments of history. The skating on thin ice has to be the Nancy Kerrigan, Tanya Harding story. Why? Exactly.
So I have a funny story
that's
about
skating
that.
on thin ice.
Yeah, in multi-layered reasons why that applies. Nice. Did you ever see the Harding Tanya movie?
No. I Tanya?
I Tanya.
Like it sounds like an Apple product.
Maybe Apple was behind the whole thing.
Maybe.
Yeah. So the gist of it is, Tanya Harding
Okay.
had. I mean, not the gist of the movie. The gist of the story. If you're too young to remember what we're referring to, Tanya Harding and
It's like
Nancy
94.
Kerrigan. Yeah, they were both American skaters,
Top level.
competing against each other to get into the Olympics, or they may have both been in the Olympics at some point. But anyway, competing against each other. Tanya Harding allegedly hires her guys to go and take a lead pipe to Nancy Kerrigan's legs, right? Mm-hmm. That's the gist of the story. It's like
that sums it up.
But I, Tanya, if there's any truth to the movie, I mean, she's like trailer park kind of growing up, and as you think of figure skating as this highfalutin,
Girl had a dream.
yeah. Anyway, it was interesting. I don't know how accurate the movie is done, but it was interesting to watch. It was.
I think she was like the first woman to have completed like a triple something like
Lindy?
crown.
A triple crown. Triple something.
Triple something in like skating history, like the first dude.
Yeah, I think
dude
there
in
was something.
competition. She was a great skater, but
Yeah.
she was looking for an edge, so to speak, which involved a pipe.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tanya Harding with the pipe. it's like playing Clue.
Tanya Harding in the rink with a lead pipe. Am I right? So here's my funny Tanya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan story. When I got married, my mother-in-law was really into watching figure skating. So, of course, that...
Why do people like it?
I don't know, but that situation happens, and for years, I kid you not, years, I'd be like, hey, Mom, did you hear about Nancy Kerrigan? She goes, oh, what? And I would just tell her about the same story. Mm-hmm. Oh, there's another skater, Tanya Harding, I think her name was, who hired people to hit her leg with a pipe. She's like, well, that's 2 years ago. Oh, so you have heard it? And I would just move on. But I'd get her every time. Hey, did you hear about Nancy Kerrigan? No, what? Every time. Countless times.
So hard to believe, but they have to be in their 50s now.
Harding to believe.
Dude, I think... Do you have your goggles handy?
I think I unplugged my goggles.
Yeah. So they got to be in that 50 zone now, because that would have been in the early 90s that all this went on. And
Yeah, that sounds right.
So even if they were young 20-year-olds.
Hey, Google.
Yeah.
No, I don't have. I got a new phone. It's not set up. I got number 5, Pixel 5.
I'm jealous. Trying not to be on. Anyway. Yeah, so continue on with some other interesting trivia piece.
Okay, so while you look up information, it's not completely coincidence that we're doing today's idiom skating on thin ice, because this is our 99th.
She's 51, Nancy Kerrigan.
Wow.
Yep.
Tanya Harding?
I don't know, man.
72. They're probably around the same age, though.
Probably. Tanya Harding. Okay, let's just waste people's time with this.
Yeah.
She is 50, just a young thing.
Oh, she's probably still skating.
She's older than us, so we don't care.
So, Skating on Thin Ice, episode 99.
Okay.
Of all the people to be on ice.
Is that why you chose this one?
It is.
For the great one?
The great one. I chose it for...
Guy Lafleur?
A shout out to Wayne Gretzky, longtime listener to the Village Idiom. This one is for you. Skating on Thin Ice.
The 99.
Yeah.
The great one.
Yeah. No one can ever have that number.
Well, what are you saying there? Guy?
Is that your Wayne Gretzky?
No, I'm just doing a random
random Canadian
Albertan. Yeah.
There, guy.
What are you saying there, guy?
He was the great one, and I have his rookie card.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it a real thing?
It's
I feel
a
like
real...
this is a lead into a joke.
No, I actually have his rookie card. I've never had it evaluated or anything, but I do own it. I had several because I had so many hockey cards. And a friend of mine, family friend who lived down in the States, he came up and he was all of a sudden into hockey. He just like, I love hockey. I love this Wayne Gretzky guy. I'm like, oh, I got all these cards. First year. And he took all my Gretzky cards because I just didn't care. And only to find out later that he would become the great one. And I went rifling through it, and all I had was one card. It was the good one, but
the hockey goat.
Yeah,
man, those are some fun times. Skating on thin ice. That whole wave of like when it was Gretzky and Messier.
Oh
and
yeah.
Was it
when the Oilers just rained?
Oh my goodness, that was an impressive time.
Yeah,
they were like the Bulls of hockey.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what Gordie Howe? There's nobody really touches Gretzky even to this day. There's some good players.
I'm sure you're kicking up arguments somewhere for some hockey.
I mean,
fan.
actual record-setting situations.
We don't watch sports between the two of us, so I'm sure. Is there a new hockey person that's better?
Not better. But there's some players. There's some players.
You sound
Each team has a few.
Very commentator. We got to get some goals in the
Yo
back
doesn't
of
have players, notoriously. The Vancouver Canucks.
I just so touched. But anyways, Skating on Thin Ice.
Skating on Thin Ice. That's where we're going today. That's why I chose it for episode 99.
I love the tie-in. We should jump in with a little bit of where this actually even comes from.
Fine.
Said some words, where'd they go? Where'd they go? No one can know. I turned around and looked behind. Those words came from another
righty then. Well, skating on thin ice, we already said, is knowingly engaging in a dangerous or risky activity. You are skating on thin ice. So we're going to get into the icy depths of this idiom. Give you a lot more than just the tip of the iceberg.
Oh, that's so ridiculous.
That's just cold.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to go to the etymology of the word skate to start this off. So ice skate goes back to the 1600s from Dutch word skaats. I don't know how to say it. SCHAATS. You think it's just skates? And I'm like, skates. SCHAATS. Which the plural for that is skaatsen. Skaatsen! Which English mistakenly assumed that skates was the plural, but it was the singular. From Middle Dutch. The word and the custom were brought to England after the Restoration by exiled followers of Charles II, who had taken refuge in Holland. So skating in general, being on blades on ice, is a Dutch thing. So the Dutch word is perhaps from Old North French, which is skate, which in English means a stilt, which is interesting. So it's still referring to something beneath your feet. It's also from Frankish. I don't know what Frankish is. Is it a derivative? Is it a derivative francophone?
It's gotta be French still.
But Frank, it's not quite Frank. It's Frankish, and it's SKAKKJA. Skagja.
That sounds like
Skagja.
like furniture from
Which
IKEA.
also means stilt. Or in Germanic source, there's one called skatja, which also means stilt. But it directly translated, literally translated, is thing that shakes or moves fast. So there was a combination of reasons why the word skate, from these derivatives of these words and movement and moving fast, root of an Old English skikon, which means to vibrate or shake. Shake comes from that too.
You mean shake?
Or here's another version. Perhaps the Dutch word is connected to Middle Low German shanke, Old English skanke leg.
No.
Skanke means leg. You could look up shank, like shank.
Watch me whip, watch me nay.
See my skanke leg?
Let's do the skanky leg.
And if you don't like the first reason, the second reason, instead of like it could come from those skank, and stilt is in there, so it kind of works. But this other one, meaning leg or shank, could be possible because up until medieval times, the actual blades of the skates were made of leg bones. So it
Better than
works.
being made of skanks.
Leg bones from horse or ox or deer or whatever, with leather strips around your feet.
You'd think that without
Skanky leg?
without a way to keep them flat, it's like that's a dangerous item. Like if you can't keep them perpendicular off your foot.
Well, I wonder if they were more like flat blades, like a sleigh originally. I don't know if
Like
they...
soles.
Soles? Korea?
Like flat stilts.
So and if the first skates were on stilts, you're like, there's got to be an easier way.
So hard. Just slit throats everywhere.
And then in 1876, the sense of skating in English was extended to roller skates. So the word skate became like the act of skating by 1853. It was you wasn't just describing something, it was describing an activity. It became a verb. You could skate.
Okay, this new thing drives me crazy.
Which one?
It's got nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Perfect.
Going for a walk in our local park. It's a paved 5-kilometer loop trail. People who go for a walk but it's a walking trail, but you're allowed to use bikes. And so the bikers that just do laps on their e-bikes, but they're not like just hard pedaling. They're just e-biking. They're just cruising around doing laps on the e-bike. Whew! I feel like refreshed and energized.
They should come up with an e-shoe. So it looks like you're going for a walk, but you're no effort.
Yeah. That's interesting. Well, they kind of do, but they're just massive. Those
roller one wheels or whatever.
Yeah.
But no, your legs still move like that. It's your shoes that's doing
like
it,
the board. Like the hoverboard with the 2 wheels?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like a Segway, except like shorter.
Oh, the wheels left and right, and
Yeah.
you're facing forward. That never looks safe to me. Like, I like having 1 foot forward, like skateboard, snowboard kind of position. Standing like this, I feel like it's going to go out from under me one direction or the other. But I've never tried that. Have you ever tried one of those?
No.
I've tried a Segway.
I can't skate.
That's not skating.
I don't know.
Skating.
It's vertical on wheels.
Yeah. Do you skateboard?
Nope. I can't skate. Like no balance.
All right. The idiomatic expression on thin ice. So that's something worth mentioning is it doesn't have to be skating on thin ice, although that's pretty common.
Oh, just
You could be just you're on thin ice.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
So the idiomatic expression on thin ice originated from Holland, now known as Netherlands. Does Holland not exist?
Wow.
That seems like
Didn't they just say it was the
misinformation.
Netherlands?
Well, it says now known as Netherlands.
Well, they must have renamed it.
So Holland doesn't exist anymore. I need to study this. Skating originated from there, and skating on
There's
thin
North
ice was a
America
phrase,
and South America.
and then the rest
And
of the
then
world.
the rest of the world.
It was a phrase commonly used, especially when seas, rivers, streams freeze during the winter, and people would skate over them. In some areas, the ice is thin and can crack, causing the skater to fall in. Blah blah blah. You get the idea. And it became both a literal thing. Hey, you're skating on thin ice, like, and person probably pushing the envelope a little bit, like, I know. Wow, he was really skating on thin ice, and that got dragged into everyday language.
Closest I've had experience was in this vein of falling through ice was on a roof, and I was in the top of building, and all the joists are going across, and was filled with like that pink blow-in insulation everywhere. And we were doing some work up there, and I stepped off of the joist, but there was enough, the drywall and the screws were enough to hold me. But until I made like an adjusting movement, and I guess my weight really shifted, and it was like, and I dropped like 4 inches, and then and then I went through the roof, but grabbed
your armpits,
grabbed
kind of
myself on the armpits and the joists,
like Tom Hanks in Money Pit.
Exactly, that's it. I did that. That's as close as I get to falling through ice, is through a roof. But it's that sensation of hunk, and then yeah.
Did that? So I visited your workplace this week.
Okay.
Did that happen again?
Yes. There's a recent.
That wasn't you though.
No, I don't go up there anymore. My balance is not what it used to be.
The skating.
It never was.
Roof climbing.
It's worse. Someone. I think there's been over the history of that building 3 people go through, but.
Okay, I just was. Oh, it's gonna be all sound effects. The scene of Tom Hanks falling through the floor. What I remember about it is he falls through the floor, he gets stuck, and then other scenes happen, and it comes back to Tom Hanks still stuck, just going, Brad, bo bad, banana, bo fad. Let's try Scott. He's just stuck.
It's at the end of the day. Yeah, it's at the end of the day, and he's just because he's caught in a rug,
in a carpet that's sunken through the floor. Yeah. All right, so according to, I can't remember which dictionary, it was first used by U.S. writer Ralph Waldo Emerson in his essay Prudence in 1841. And this brought up an interesting thing. It said, in skating over thin ice, our safety is in our speed. And I found other references that was referencing skating on thin ice or being on thin ice in reference to speed, because you're safer on thin ice if you're trucking along. Because you're not in one spot sinking. And so there was a few references where it had to do with you're skating on thin ice. In other words, hurry up. So speed up what you're doing because you're skating on thin ice. Less about the risk, more about let's hurry this up. You're going to run out of time. So that came up a couple times.
I like that, so that it's like the danger is there, but you're actually going so fast as to miss it. It's like going so fast that you miss a pothole.
Yeah. Exactly. You literally skate over it.
Right.
You slip over it. So the oldest one that I could find, the works of Confucius.
What does he say?
This is the original text with a translation. Be constantly cautious as when near a deep whirlpool, as though walking on thin ice. So there you go.
So that's like 1900s.
Confucius.
Yeah.
Fee, fi, mo, Walter.
Oh, okay. Anyway. Oh, we're getting into it here, aren't
Oh my
we?
goodness, we are. We're heading to the tail end of things. You got any more Skating on Thin Ice? Did you ever see Blades of Glory?
Yes.
Enough said about it, just to say the phrase.
Yeah. Those guys are not skinny in those tights either. Well, Owen Wilson's pretty tiny. Will Ferrell, he's funny in any outfit.
Yeah.
It's not like he's overweight. He's just
like normal dad bod, but
Yeah.
but he owns it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Not hiding it.
Thin ice, George. Very thin ice.
Yeah, didn't even mean to hit that one, but we'll include it.
Clips coming everywhere.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like a barrage of clips. So, having stated that we are not a skating type individual,
Yeah.
we are not ones to skate easily through life, but there it is.
There it is. So
We came, we saw, we skated.
there's the idiom, pushing the envelope. You're knowingly doing something risky. You are skating on thin ice, and it all comes from the root word skids. Well, you ready for this?
Let's jump in. Let's do some riddlings. What's that about?
Alrighty then. Here it is. Riddlink is a game that you like to play, I like to play. And it's a game that takes a two-part trivia-based question, and it requires a two-part but overlapping answer, overlapping by sound or syllable or word, and if really lucky, multiple words. But that's difficult. And so, for example, last week with our idiom tongue-in-cheek, we left you with this one. This feline saying regarding silence used to mean contempt, but now irony. Did you figure that one out? You had a week to think about it.
Meowch.
It was cat got your tongue and tongue in cheek. So the correct answer would be cat got your tongue in cheek. And that is how you play
I was thinking different.
Riddlink. I can see that.
Okay, let me. I've got two prepared. How many do you have?
I got two. So I'll do one for you and leave one for everybody else.
Let me start then. First, you sow-cowed on a newly frozen lake. Then you stopped, collaborated, and listened.
What? Skating on thin ice, baby?
That's it.
Okay. I didn't know if there was more to the sow cow if I needed to know a skating term. All right. Well, I'll give you this one.
Illegitimate children out there, see if you can beat me.
Today's idiom about knowingly pushing the limit. Check out this hook while my DJ revolves it. Do you have any idea?
Skating on Robert Van Winkle.
You got it.
Yay!
This happens every once in a while. We line up with the same one. I was actually gonna.
You're not gonna have this one.
I was actually gonna leave that for everyone, so I skipped to it.
Oh, okay.
Because
sorry about that.
no problem.
My bad. Okay, here we go.
Hopefully you don't have this one.
This skater coordinated the infamous assault on Nancy Kerrigan while eating Hostess chocolate cakes.
Not Nancy. Tanya Hardingdong. Is it?
Yeah. That's a Tanya
That's
Harding.
fantastic. Oh, okay. I got one more. We got about a minute left here. We got enough time for you to tell everybody how they can play along.
Sure, you can reach out to us on Instagram at the.village.idiom or email us thevillageidiom@gmail.com, or whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter at 3 minutes gone.
Perfect. All right, I got one more. Here it is. Try not to answer, Skinny. This is for all our illegitimate children out there. Today's idiom. Nope, that's the one I just gave you. Here it is. The idiom for doing something risky is the classic frozen dessert poem.
Oh, man. I'm going to have to think about that one.
Think about your parents. You hear the truck coming down the street. What do your parents say to you or sing to you, say to you? So the idiom for doing something risky is the classic frozen dessert poem.
I caught where you're going. I'm still, okay,
there you
working
go.
it out. So that has been 3 minutes gone.
Bing, bang, boom, ding, dong. Tanya Harding Dong. That was fantastic. Nicely done.
It's always so fun putting them together, and then it sadly must all come to an end.
It truly does.
And here we are
But
at
you know,
the conclusion.
Do you know what you do if this whole podcast had fallen apart today? You know what I'd do? Glue it back together.
Oh my goodness, your dad joking it to death today.
I had a list of them.
Oh, that's pretty bad.
What did the man say after he slipped and fell on the ice?
Let me think. Man say after he slipped on the ice.
Nothing. He gave him a cold shoulder.
Yeah, these are terrible.
Yeah.
I don't have a chance.
All right. Let's just stop then.
Okay, fair enough. Sounds good. So thanks for including us on your drive to work or through your exercise regime today while listening to the podcast. I'm Skinny.
And I am Jurassic Case.
And these are the Village Idioms.
I have no song to go out on. I accidentally clicked the little X button. So,
And they're nice. Baby. All right, stop.
dum, 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 dum,
Collaborate
dum.
and listen.
Last 3 minutes gone.